Hello and welcome to my retro watches. This episode is a watch review. Now then, a lady called Nicole from a company called WR Watches got in contact with me. They're promoting a new brand of watch and would I like to review it on the channel. I took a look at the photographs. The watch is very vintage inspired. I love vintage watches. They are my cup of tea and I think they are probably most of my viewers as well. So of course I said yes. The watch has turned up, it is in this box, and we're going to take a very close look at this in just a moment. Now there is one elephant in the room, and it's going to come apparent very, very quickly. But stick with us, we'll go to the bench and we'll have a look at this watch. Guys, here we are on the bench. And before I show you the watch that's in the box, I better tell you about the elephant that's in the room. And that elephant is that name, Ironwatch. To me, it just doesn't suit this style of watch. And let's show you what I mean. So here we go. This is the Ironwatch. And it's got bags and bags of vintage inspiration. It's extremely well proportioned. It's got very good specifications as well. And that dial colour, it's called caramel. And it's absolutely beautiful to me. There's nothing I can fault so far other than that Ironwatch. I just can't get over it at all. It doesn't suit it. It's not made of iron. If it was, it would rust, and that's not appropriate for a watch at all. Perhaps if they'd used an applied logo, perhaps, or just IW, may have been a bit better. But I've got to give it to them. It's their first ever attempt, and perhaps through reviews like this, we can make a change to things like that. Who knows? I want to tell you a bit more about the specifications, show you the watch in more detail. So let's get it in some better light and go there now and show you all about the Ironwatch. Right, we're outside in the daylight and you can see that watch dial in all of its glory. That caramel colour I think is really, really nice. It suits the watch very well. It kind of gives it that vintage vibe as well, if you ask me. So let's just go through all the specifics. Now the case is made from 316L stainless steel. Why would it be made of anything else? I guess it could have been made from iron, who knows, being an iron watch. The crystal is sapphire. The bracelet is also stainless steel. It's solid links and it also has screw links too, which is always going to be a bonus in my eyes. The case diameter is a lovely sweet spot at 37 millimeters. Now, all the watches I seem to see at the moment, certainly these newer ones, the ones I've been looking at on the internet, are all 40, 42, even 44 millimeters. So to see something that's in the 30 range is absolutely fabulous, because I think that's a nice sweet spot for my wrist. 37 just hits the mark. The lug width is 19 mil, so that's going to be a bit of a problem if you want to change straps, because 19 mil straps are not as abundant as 20 mil. The case thickness though is 11.3 millimeters, so that's also a win. That's going to fit under your cuff really nicely, nice and slender. And the lug to lug, if you like, is 46 millimeters. So again, it's going to fit nicely on the wrist. Like it says on the dial there, it's 150 meters of water resistance, and that's also backed up by a screw down crown. So that's enough of the dial side. Let's flip this watch over. So here we are on the back end of the watch, and it's got a screw down caseback that's also fitted with sapphire crystal. Now, honestly, I've not seen sapphire crystal on a caseback before, so I'm very pleasantly surprised to see that in a watch like this. It's actually completely sterile as well. There's no model numbers, there's no movement numbers, there's no reference numbers, no nothing. And kind of suits it in a way, because all you get to see is the action. And this is the bit you all want to know. What is that movement? Well, of course, it is a Miyota, but it is a Miyota 9015. And a 9015 is Miyota's higher range of movements. It's a high beat movement. It's vibrating at 28,800 beats per hour. And it's an amazing 3.9 mil thick. And to be honest with you, I am dying to take that movement apart and have a good closer look at it. So if you'd like to see that, then definitely comment below and perhaps in a future video I might just take this movement apart and inspect it a bit closer. So let's go back to the bench. Let's have a look at the accuracy. So here we are, dial side up on the time graph. So let's see what this Miyota 9015 will do. So there we have it. So we've got decent amplitude. It's -5 seconds a day, and the beat error is 0.1. So that's well within tolerance, if you ask me. And that's pretty good for a Miyota movement. I'm very pleased, to be honest with you. There's a little bit of noise going on in the background, but I wouldn't be too worried about that. So let's actually just try it with the dial down. Why not? Okay, here we are, dial down. Normally get a better reading with dial down because the jewel sits a bit better. It's under less strain. And straight away we can see the results of that. The rate is 1 second at the moment. I would expect that to change. Amplitude is still pretty much the same. The beat error, however, has actually increased 0.3. That's 0.2 out of my tolerance at least. But overall, that's pretty decent out of a little Miyota movement. Okay, it's high beat, so you would expect it to be running better. But the accuracy is overwhelmingly good. Certainly dial down, look, if you if you wore it that way, you wouldn't lose a second a day. How about that? So here is the watch on the wrist. I've got a 7-inch wrist, and I think that sits just right. It's nice and thin, profile is good, and I do like a smaller watch. It is vintage inspired, of course, and all the vintage watches I've got are pretty small. Okay, so let's sum this watch up, and we'll start with my dislikes. Obvious, the name, I said at the start, I don't want to dwell on it really, but it could be improved, and perhaps through reviews like this, change may happen. So Ironwatch, if you are watching, let's see what you can do to improve that logo, motif, or the name itself. My second little gripe is actually the crystal itself. The crystal is sapphire, don't get me wrong, that is great, fabulous to see. However, when you're looking at it from this angle, and you can see this sometimes on your wrist too, you can see it looks like it's got this sort of plastic ring. It's a bit odd. It really accentuates it on the camera here. And that is caused because just the shape it's got. It's sort of like a rounded, edge to it. And that creates that look. And I think that could have been improved by a really nice, sharp, beveled edge, to be honest. That would set that off lovely. But that is just a small gripe. And the last gripe that I've got is the clasp itself. Now, it's a butterfly clasp, and I've got nothing wrong with butterfly clasps. In fact, I actually quite like them. And on a watch like this, it's trying to be more of a sort of dress type watch. The last thing you want is a giant, great big clasp. However, it is a bit weird. You have to put this one in first before that one will fit. Okay, that's fine. I'm left-handed, and that on my left-handed, or on my right arm, should we say, can be pretty tricky sometimes. I don't know what it's like on my right. On my left, if I was right-handed. Perhaps it's geared up for you guys better than it is for me, but I find it a little bit fiddly. But there you go, that is my gripes. Okay, so what are my likes? Well, the likes, first of all, are the movement. The Miyota 9015 is one of their more premium movements, and it seems to be a pretty decent movement too. It's only 3.9mm thick, and that allows these guys who make these sort of watches to produce thinner watches, and I'm all for thinner watches. Some of these great big chunky things that people wear nowadays, I just think they're just doorknob magnets, and you're going to smash them on everything. So to keep a movement thin is a bit more panache. Of course, it is a Japanese movement, and I'm a big fan of any Japanese watch, to be honest with you, so always a bonus there. It is beating at 28,800 vibrations per hour, so you're going to get some nice smooth hand action there. I actually also like the second hand. The second hand, you can't see it in this light, I'm afraid. I've had to come indoors. It's actually blued. There we go, you can see it there just about. I really do like the look of that. I love the colour of this dial. They have got two other colourways. I'll put them on the screen now. There's a mother of pearl one, And then there's the Garde de Paris. My French is absolutely appalling, but that's a lovely textured dial and probably the one to have if you were going to go for one of these. I also like the indices, I like the shape of them. I like the fact that they've been gilded and there is a little bit of lume too. The whole profile of the watch, the shape, the size, sweet spot for me. So is it value for money? That's the question. So I haven't said how much it is, but it is retailing at the moment for $300 US, which is about 220 UK pounds. So how does that sit with you? For me, I don't know. I think it's probably about right. Looking at what like Seikos and things like that go for nowadays, £200 doesn't go very far. And here you are getting a high beat movement in a watch that looks quite pretty. Would I buy one? I'm not too sure. The name still sits badly with me. But that said, I have wore this watch for over a week now, on and off, and I've really enjoyed wearing it. I don't know whether it's my eyesight, but I can't really see the Ironwatch when I'm wearing it. So maybe I'm just hanging on that too much. But there we go. That is the review of the Ironwatch. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I'd love to read your comments, good or bad, because I know I'm probably going to get both. If you like the video, of course, give me a thumbs up. It's going to help the Google algorithm to say that this video is good, and it will show it to other people. Like and subscribe, hit the bell button, of course, and if you want to pick one of these up or look for any information on this particular brand, the link is below to WR Watches. So thank you very much, guys. I will see you very soon in the next video. Bye for now.